Hey, this is Mr. Technical Barry Horowitz, and you're watching Five Star Takes. Give yourself a big pat on the back and watch a great, awesome podcast, if you will. And I will, and so will you.
Hello, Shane.
Hello, Dennis.
How's it going?
It's going really good. How are you?
I am well. The kids, the wife just got home. The kids in bed, so it's time. It's time to have some fun with my bud.
Boys talking about wrestling and other stuff, but not nasty stuff. That was 2 weeks ago.
Thanks for bringing that up. Just when I finally was starting to get it out of my system, not that not. Geez. See what you made me do.
Just roll the intro, man. Let's get it out early.
Oh, thanks, Shane, for saving that because that could have gotten really out of control.
Yeah. No, I could tell you needed a second. Passing the buck. You know what I mean?
I mean, between that talk and then letting you end last week's show with that, that I'm still trying to fully understand what that was all about.
We're just gonna move on from both. I stand by what I said.
And for those of you, if you don't know what Shane said and would like to know, go back into the 5 Star Takes archives. You can watch all the old episodes on our page on YouTube, located at www.youtube.com/@ 5 Star Takes, and pull up episode 38 and just go right to the very end, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah, you can also, follow the Shooting Shit Facebook page featuring us and our boys shooting shit. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yes, very much so. So you know what? I feel like we got a lot of good stuff to talk about because there's a lot of good wrestling on over the weekend. There's a lot of good wrestling on during the week, and there is a lot of really good wrestling coming up in the next week or so. So let's talk about what we saw on Saturday, and that is the Elimination Chamber. Before we go into a breakdown of each match and what we thought overall, what did you think of the show?
I mean, as is typical with WWE recently, it was it was really good. It was really good to excellent. I mean, there were definitely some things I would have changed about the show, and I don't think it was a perfect show. But I think that there's a match on it that will be remembered regardless of the ending of the show. And if you're watching this, you probably know the ending of the show, and you should probably know what match I'm talking about, but we'll get into all that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought I liked all the matches. The both chamber matches really delivered. You and I kind of were, I think someone from WWE may have been listening or watched this last week because you predicted, or you had called possibly or laid out the possibility of what happened after the men's chamber match happening. You laid that out, and then I kind of laid out what happened in the women's chamber to start. So I'm starting to think maybe someone from WWE found the show and started watching it.
Yeah, I mean, if they did, let me tell you, our email, and by that I mean any of our personal emails, you can just ask in the comments section, is open. Let me book a fucking show, baby.
Send the paychecks in care of send DDJ his paychecks care of. Wait, I'm not going to give my personal address information over on the show.
Dennis and I will take a measly 1% of all earnings from Elimination Chamber 2025.
I would take 1% of that because they probably did between ticket sales, merchandise sales, and all that stuff. They did at least seven figures, and I just spilled my tea a little bit, so bear with me here for a second.
Yeah, no, I mean, if they sent us 1% of all earnings, I mean, we could afford to go to a nice dinner when I come to old Chicago in August.
Yeah, we can afford a nice dinner. We can actually supersize our meals.
Oh shit, that would be cool. I still, Dennis, I need you on the lookout for fun things happening in Chicago that week. I'll let you know the week soon.
Yeah, as we get closer, definitely let me know, because spring and summer plans is kind of starting to take shape in my in my world. In fact, I actually was just talking with you mentioned Shooting Shit earlier. I was talking with Shooting Shit's very own the hot one, Giovanni Tuhati, aka Jovan Minacho, and talking about possibly making. Well, he's going to be coming down in a couple weeks to for WrestleMania Night 1, and we're all gathering at the Silverwolf Sean's house to watch WrestleMania Night 1, and then I'm planning on driving up to go see the hot one at the end of May, beginning of June. So
yeah, no, I'll let you know. It's like late October, mid to late October.
Okay, I know the third weekend in October, I'm usually down in Indiana for fall family reunion. So that is definitely, that's the only thing that's absolute show.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it not on the show.
To figure out and stuff.
Sorry, folks.
Nothing to peek on our personal lives, but going back to Elimination Chamber, everybody's going to remember what happened at the end. But there was so much more. There were so many other good things besides that happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, and let's start at the beginning. Women's, one thing I do want to touch on with WWE is I think it's a real shame WWE doesn't do a match on the pre-show still after all this time. I think that is such a missed opportunity, because I think that WWE, especially in their current format where pay-per-views are 5 matches long, could do some real good in that pre-show, and they could make that actually matter. They could put real matches on it,
I remember when they used to. Like, I think my all-time favorite, in fact, remember, because I remember back when the days of the WWE Network, which, God, I miss the WWE Network, but I've noticed that they are seemingly starting to convert YouTube into their own version of the WWE Network.
Yeah. They made that WCW, Facebook page.
Yeah, and stuff. But back when they used to have like the pre-shows in the days of the network, and you'd get a couple matches here and there. I think my all-time favorite pre-show match has to be from, I think it was Extreme Rules.
Yeah, WLC, dude.
Yes, WLC.
Yeah, it's the best.
So it's the greatest. It had no bit. That match had no.
I mean, it was the epitome of every performer giving the middle finger to Vince by trying so hard when being saddled with such bullshit.
Yeah,
it was the best. But yeah, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if they made pre-shows more entertaining, if they made pre-shows more like the Saturday Night Heat, you know what I mean? Yeah. They could actually they could gain something from them. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't think that the WWE gains anything from the pre-shows right now, and I think the only reason they do them is to make the product look more professional. You know what I mean?
But even in that aspect, and I was just thinking about this as you were talking there. The company that owns WWE also owns UFC, and UFC they've got like when they have an event, like they have matches literally that run almost all day. I mean,
Oh yeah, I
you've got
watch
your
every Saturday.
they usually have what, like they have some like some prelims on, I think it's like ESPN or whatever. Then it's like something
Yeah,
like ESPN Plus, and then the pay per view. But like literally, they have all these matches going on even before the show starts and stuff. So that kind of makes it even more confusing. Why? Like I get the idea that that they're trying to make the product look more professional, like a real sport. And I mean, as evidenced by the way they presented the Royal Rumble, which I think we both talked about. I know I love that, like how they presented the Royal Rumble this year, and I would definitely like to see more of that. But I mean, yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, sometimes they have these shows that are like these pre-shows that are 2 hours long, and yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, we're setting up the matches and this is what's going on and stuff. But man, sometimes you gotta get some of these other talents that don't necessarily get a chance or something. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, they can easily get one or two, or hell, even three pre-show matches on on something
yeah.
like
Well,
this when they have 2 hours. I mean, AEW does it.
yeah. I mean, and like especially for some of like the smaller, pay-per-views, do
Mm-hmm.
one match, do one quality match. It was like 7 months in between the SmackDown tag titles being defended on pay-per-view. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that's and that really is a shame for those belts. That is the one thing I will say, is an issue with the 5 match card, is that there are belts, and there are feuds that just don't get, the proper pay-per-view
Yeah.
payoff. And again, 1 match on the smaller ones, 2 matches on like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. You know what I mean?
But
Um,
no, you know what? No, I don't necessarily think with like maybe WrestleMania now, maybe SummerSlam going 2 nights. Like, okay, those I get because you have basically 2 nights. You can do like 5, 6 matches each night and get everybody featured. Yeah, maybe one per, something like that.
yeah,
Or
I mean,
yeah,
or hear me out here. For like WrestleMania specifically, NXT pre-show matches.
well, they
Dude,
do have that stand and deliver. That's usually that afternoon of night one.
yeah. I mean, but still, I mean, I still feel like even with Stand and Deliver, NXT could put on a couple matches before night 1 of WrestleMania, and then they could do bigger stuff night 2, or they could just have people wrestle twice. I
I would
mean,
love for them to bring back for like maybe if WrestleMania bring back. I know they do. They do it. They've been doing it on SmackDown the last few years. For the love of God, if they're still doing the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, put that on put that on like, the pre-show one of the 2 nights, and then do one for the women.
yeah. I think that's a great idea as well. I mean, do like men's Andre the Giant night 1, women's night 2. Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. I mean, just get everybody a paycheck, man. It's fucking WrestleMania. You know what I
They feel
mean?
like they're hurting for money.
Yeah, I mean, just get it's WrestleMania. Give everybody a shot. You know.
Exactly.
But
But yeah,
anyways, back to Elimination
back
Chamber.
back to the chamber. I remember, I'm sitting down here watching. I was here down in my basement where I record this show and I produce, shooting shit. And I had it all set out. I had my food, everything. I was good. I'm sitting there watching it. And, it's Liv, and who was, by the way, shout out to Liv Morgan for being the MVP of that match and probably arguably the one of the MVPs of the night. I mean, just as much punishment as she took, she carried that match and she certainly paid for it. But when they were getting ready to start, and the next thing you know, Jade Cargill's music hit, and I'm thinking like, what the? And then the way she's coming, like, oh man, and then she hit the ring and Liv's like scared for her life. And I was focused more on Naomi because I know you and I talked, and this whole thing came about. I bet from the beginning it said Naomi had done it, and I saw that looking when she kind of, and I think she knew. She was like, she's like, oh, I'm fucked, and yeah, she got fucked. And I talked about that. Like I said that I thought something like that might happen. Now I thought it might have been not been till the end of the match when it maybe came down to Bianca and Naomi. So it's kind of a shocker to see it happen beforehand. But man, dude, that was just something. I mean, what a way to start that match.
Yeah, no, I mean it was it was definitely rock a start. It it made sense at the beginning. I'm glad, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, Elimination Chamber is one of those things that really shouldn't be invaded.
No.
I mean the one, the one concession I'll make is Taker, coming from the depths of hell and killing Shawn Michaels that one time. Yeah, but
well, no, I thought it was the other way around. I thought
Shawn. Yeah. It was Shawn. My bad.
Yeah, because that cost Undertaker I think it was the world title, and
yeah,
that set up
the second match. Yeah,
the second match between HBK and Taker, in which HBK ended up losing and having to retire.
Yeah, no, my bad. I got that.
No, but I get what you're saying and stuff. But I just it was cool. And then again, like I said, Liv Morgan was amazing in that match. I thought everybody did a great job, and I think, and I shout out to Roxanne Perez for once again, hanging tough with these women and this type of match. And she had to be fighting them butterflies and everything. But shout out to Bianca Belair for winning the match and going on to WrestleMania. I mean, she's got a lot going on right now. Right before my, I went to lay down with my son to try to get him to go to sleep before my wife got home. I was watching SmackDown, and Bianca was in the ring with Naomi, and Naomi basically, it was really weird. It's like just so much crying and stuff, but they got the message across. And basically Naomi pulled a Rikishi and said, yeah, I did it for you. I was waiting for her to say I did it for, well, she kind of did, but it was just, she basically did Rikishi 2000, when he admitted that he did it for The Rock. She claimed she did it for Bianca, and they got at it, and just it got heated. And then Jade came out again, and Bianca is like, she's all yours. And, Bianca wasted her again. So I'm interested to see where that story goes. But you know what? Like I said, good match. Congrats to Bianca. She's going to WrestleMania, and yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, it was definitely solid. I don't know. I just thought it was a good chamber match. You know what I mean? I don't think it was, particularly great. It just in the way that the biggest things in the match that happened were storyline, and that seems to be a normal thing for Triple H nowadays. You know what I mean? Everybody worked hard, like you said. Liv was definitely the MVP. Yeah, I mean the Bianca storyline is pretty darn interesting. So
yeah,
good way to start the show.
Yeah, and then next we move on to the women's tag match with Nia Jax and Candice LeRae going up against Trishie and Tiffy. And I mean, it was nice. God, Trish still looks amazing. She can still go, and obviously they are really, I think, trying to do what they can to establish Tiffany as like the woman of the future.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It was an okay match. Trisha's still impressive as you said. They are clearly trying to establish Tiffany as a megastar, somebody that they're clearly willing to invest in long term. You know, and this match did that. I still, after this match, echo what I said last week, that I don't feel like this needed to be, you know, on the show, you know, by any means. But you know, it accomplished what it needed to, and you know, it wasn't a disaster. It was a solid match. It was good.
It was. So now we move on to a match that, oof, I mean, that's, again, every time these two guys get in the ring, it's magic. And once again, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just put on a clinic.
Yeah. It was awesome. This was the match that I was talking about.
I kind of figured that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was brutal. You got to see a lot of the you know, open chair spots that you don't typically see from WWE. You know, you don't really see that from anywhere other than, you know, the indies. I mean, GCW obviously comes to mind, you know, with stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it was brutal. You know, there was a lot of, you know, harkening back. Good. Michael Cole said the words Kevin Steen, which was awesome. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was great. But I can't believe I'm saying this. I think Dave Meltzer is going to rate this one a little bit higher than I would. I think that I would give this a 4.75 for the simple reason that barbed wire chair stunk.
Oh, that I was to say, if there's the one thing,
it stunk so bad because it was so clearly gimmicked. I don't expect Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn to take actual barbed wire in the year 2025. You know what I mean? But the barbed wire has to at least tug at the clothes. You know what I mean?
And it has to, like, well, the one, I think it got Owens, and I think it was the cheek or something. Like, there should have been blood in that, man, because barbed wire, like, I don't know if anybody if like you or Isaac or like anybody listening to the show has ever been, you know, gotten caught in barbed wire. I think I did once, like many years ago. I was, you know, a kid and stuff, and I don't even remember the circumstances, but just accidentally grazing like my hand on it or something, you know, I got it cut, and it's horrible, you know, and it just kind of takes it just kind of, I you know, like, okay, this is ridiculous, you know. He takes that, I think it was the drop toe hold into the barbed wire chair. Like, he should have been stuck on there, and then when he came out, there should have been just blood just like going down the side of his face where his cheek was or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, and again, I wouldn't have counted it against the match if neither of them bled. It had to have at least clung to something. You know what I mean? I mean, and it was enough that it bothered me. I mean, you know, it's still awesome. I mean, they both work their asses off. You know, but if you're going to do something like that, it has to, you know, when the rest of the matches was as brutal as it was, you know, when you have barbed wire, that's, you know, that's raising the stakes, and then it's not even close. But yeah, I mean, they beat the hell out of each other. Obviously, Randy Orton, big return, you know, after the match. But Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, as far as their work, was perfect, you know, as it nearly always is.
Yeah, I don't normally like to nitpick it and things like, but it's just, that spot with the barbed wire chair just really just bugged me, and it took away something because, just for the reasons we discussed. But I definitely enjoyed that. It was
table murder.
What was that?
I said there was a lot of table murder in that match.
Yes.
I mean, the tables were smashed.
Mm-hmm. But it was everything I'd hoped it would be and expected it to be. And like I said, these two always make magic when they're in the ring. Orton coming back was nice. It was nice to see him tease the return of the punt, and I think we're going to see that eventually, probably at WrestleMania. In a few weeks here and that. But it was nice to see the return of the punt, and even Orton had talked about, like in his promo he cut to open SmackDown, he talked about like the voices in his head, coming back and stuff, and that's what made him do the punt. And if it wasn't for the officials and stuff, Owens may be on the sidelines right now. And the comment, and Orton made a really funny comment at the end of his promo on SmackDown tonight. He said like he's going to show something about showing the world or something that Pat McAfee is the second best puncher in the WWE, and I got a kick out of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that their WrestleMania match has a very, very good chance of being the best match on its night, and definitely maybe the best match of the weekend. I have a great feeling Kevin is gonna work his ass off.
Oh, absolutely, and I think Orton will as well too, because we don't know. I mean, much like this is being advertised, it's a for sure thing that this WrestleMania is going to be John Cena's last. I mean, this very well could be Orton's last WrestleMania as well. Shane seems to have disappeared. I don't know if he lost his camera, if he had to step out or something. So we'll, you know what? We're going to take a quick break while Shane, we figure out what's going on with Shane, and we're going to hear from our friends at Waukesha Sports Cards. So we'll be right back. Hey there, it's DDJ from 5 Star Takes, and when I come up to Milwaukee to see the Brewers play, there's one place that I always make it a point to stop at. Waukesha Sports Cards. Come on, let's go inside and check out what they got. Thank you. Thank you. Be sure to stop by one of their 3 locations or go to www.waukeshasportscards.com. All right, so we are back. So we aren't having technical difficulties.
Sorry.
There he is.
Sorry, mustache was blowing nose. Gross. We're not doing the gross.
Yeah, we're past that stuff. So shout out to Shane for self-censoring himself.
Yes. Sorry, it's still cold in Columbus, Ohio, and if you've ever had a mustache and you blow your nose, you understand that it can not be a lovely situation. So
yeah, it's Old Man Winter, Mother Nature. They can't seem to make up their minds whether they want the weather to be here in South Elgin, about 45 minutes west of Chicago. We got a little bit of snow today. It's cold. Like a couple days ago, it was almost 50, and it's up and down, like a roller coaster. And that.
Yep. Welcome to not really the Midwest, but what we like to refer to as the Midwest.
And I mean, I'm looking at the Midwest, and I'm looking at the weather for the next few days on my app on my phone. It's supposed to warm up, and by early next week we're going to be in the upper 50s, low 60s for a few days.
Somewhere's forecasting 70 next week for us.
Really?
Yeah, 70 degrees. I don't believe it. I won't believe it until I see it.
So you feel it.
Much like the event later in the show. But first, the men's elimination chamber match, which was much like the women's. I think much more about the storyline, which is fine. Elimination Chamber is a the last show before WrestleMania, so it makes a lot of sense. But again, the work was great. As always. I think the biggest thing from the match itself is obviously Seth stomping Punk and costing him the match, causing John Cena to win. I think it's because there was no Roman, which was pretty weird. I mean they're gonna do Roman versus Punk versus Seth, right, at WrestleMania.
That's the rumor.
Yeah, I mean because Heyman still owes Punk the favor, right? And I bet you that they're gonna book Roman versus Seth, and then Punk's gonna go. Maybe even I could see them doing it the Friday night before WrestleMania. Hey, Paul, you know what I mean? It's it's time to cash that in, and maybe they don't even announce him. Maybe he's an unannounced third member of the match, which would be pretty fun and interesting.
It's going to be definitely interesting. But one thing that I really liked about the Elimination Chamber is that there are so many things that came out of it. Like you mentioned, the stuff with Seth and Punk. We're going to see them fight in a steel cage coming up on Monday Night Raw from Madison Square Garden this coming Monday. That's going to probably lead into something for what they do for WrestleMania. I mean, obviously, it looks like we're getting Drew versus Damian Priest based on what happened, at Elimination Chamber. And then I think Drew jumped Damian backstage at SmackDown tonight, if I remember correctly. So, and then obviously, where does Logan Paul fit in all this? And that, because he actually eliminated someone in the Elimination Chamber. He took out Damian Priest, I think, after Drew laid him out. And I mean, again, also too, shout out to Logan Paul. And I'm only saying this because I'm an American. We're Americans here. The Canadians were booing the national anthem at Elimination Chamber, and I know that got under Pat McAfee's skin, and he made a comment about it during the show, which and now he posted something I want to say maybe his Instagram or something that, and this is one of the things that I hate about wrestling fans is, apparently Pat McAfee and his 1-year-old daughter have been getting death threats over what he said. And basically he just said, something about them disrespecting the national anthem, not being cool and that. And Logan Paul, I think, like, it was him bringing out the flag was like a last minute thing, and that was in response to the Canadians booing the national anthem.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that we should get too far into that on the show.
Oh, you're right. I agree. That's
just because I don't, whatever, man. I don't really have an issue with what the Canadians did. I think Pat overreacted, and
what though? He's a passionate guy. I get why he said it and stuff. Maybe it might not have been the right place or situation for him to say it, but
I mean, it was. I mean, and I don't think I'm getting too political when I say this. It's a weird thing to play someone like I don't know, man. I don't think that national anthems need to be played, before like a show like that anyways. Save it for WrestleMania, you know what I mean? And then we just don't have to have these conversations. But it was also kind of weird that they did the American national anthem in Canada. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I get why, because it's really not that much different than, like, let's say when like a team, like, say basketball or something, or baseball, when the Cubs play the Blue Jays or the Raptors play the Bulls, I think they do both national anthems, and that's just, to me, is a sign of respect for each of the countries. Like, I'll come out and say, like, I love our national anthem. I think Canada has it. I love Canada's national anthem. I think it's a beautiful song as well too. But it is what it is. But yeah, let's not go down that hole because we are definitely not a political show here and that. But I still like to say, going back to the men's elimination chamber, very good match. And I kind of noticed this and I thought about this and then kind of looking back on things, once we talk about what happened afterwards, Cena seemed to me like Cena, the old John Cena wouldn't have been so quick to act on, pouncing on Punk after Rollins took him out.
And yeah, no, I thought that was very weird in the time because I was like, really? But then in my head, I'm like, oh, it's Cena's last run. You know what I mean?
True.
Like he inserted himself into this match to begin with. You know what I mean? Like Punk will certainly like have an issue with this, but even face John Cena, you know what I mean? I feel like he could have played it off. You know what I mean? I was just so in the moment. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I get it. I get that. And I mean, Punk definitely had a lot to say about Cena and The Rock on Raw.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And Punk, I am sorry, you know what I mean, for what I did and, whatever, and just back out of it. But yeah, Punk definitely blew his lid on Raw. But yeah, again, well worked match. I don't necessarily think that this match or maybe the women's match a little bit more than this match. I don't think I'm gonna think about this match specifically, 5 years from now. You know what I mean?
I get it because I can see that and I agree with you there. I think I'll remember what happened after the men's elimination chamber in 5 years, but I won't probably remember that match
Well, yeah, no, I mean, because after Cena, very dirtily really pinned, Punk after he got stomped by Rollins, and Rollins is going, die! The Rock comes out, Cena's still in the ring. He's coming out. Travis Scott's with him. They come to the ring. Cody comes to the ring. Rock does the whole "I want your soul," and he touches his face like a weirdo. Cody, full baby face, right? I gave my soul to the ring. I gave my soul to these people, and he says, "Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself." And I was like, "Whoa." That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then immediately at this point, I'm like, why is Travis Scott still in the ring? And then I'm like, what? Why is Cena still in the ring? You know what I mean? And Cena's doing like, and he's being like a weirdo baby face. He's so animated. He's doing big claps. You know what I mean? Whoa. And I'm like, that's really weird. And Cena hugs him and backs up a step and kicks him directly in the D&B, baby.
But the D&B, I like that. That look though, because I'm sitting here watching, and I have the house to myself. My kids at my mother-in-law's, and I think my wife was out with some friends or something, and I'm sitting here and watching this. And I'm like, when I saw him give The Rock that look, and then The Rock do this, I'm like,
dude,
they're doing it. They're doing it. And I was like, oh my God. And then when he did it, I'm like, no, like up until, and I think I wasn't believing it even when it was happening, because I never thought we would see the Cena heel turn.
Yeah, no, I mean it was shocking, and I do have a bone to pick real quick with the Cena face and then The Rock. One, the Cena face was hilarious because it really wasn't that much different from his normal face.
Mm-hmm.
He just did this.
I don't know. I just felt like, to me it was a different look. I mean, like, I don't.
Oh no, I mean it definitely looked different. Dennis, the crowd made a noise like somebody was about to botch, really bad. they went, ah!
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
still cool to watch. But yeah, just you mentioned Travis Scott earlier. I don't listen to his music. I could care less. I understand he's a big name in the music world and everything, but for God's sakes, please do not allow him to get physical in the ring anymore until he learns how to do it properly. Because
He
those two
punched the
punches
shit out of Cody.
yeah, he gave Cody a black eye and busted his eardrum, which black guys have here and there, but man, a busted eardrum, I just
Dude, it's like it's not very funny for Cody,
no
but
bueno.
it's so fucking funny that in a WWE that is so much better, you know what I mean, than it was and maybe what it's ever been. I don't think there's a chance in hell that in a Vince-led WWE, Travis Scott punches somebody like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's such a weirdly unique Triple H thing where I think Triple H really does want those like ESPN clicks. You know what I mean? I think Triple H really goes after mass media stuff. So it makes sense that Travis Scott's involved. And dude,
like I get why, but yeah, he clearly showed he needs to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I mean absolutely. I mean it was brutal. Did you catch it live?
Yeah,
because I definitely caught it live. I went, oh my god.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like, you see them like World Star videos on Twitter and on the Facebook Reels and stuff, and it's just like somebody gets knocked out or whatever, and then you see them just go. It's like somebody either sneak into the same person, just going for like a couple more shots before saying oh, and some of them said saying that's enough and stuff. But that's what those shots look like.
I mean,
scrapper trying to get the last just a couple of cheap shots in.
I mean, it was one blow, and I got to tell you, I mean, it was super effective. I mean, Travis Scott right now is maybe the most believable wrestler in WWE. He's 1 for 1.
Yeah, I don't think Cody Rhodes is a fan of him right now.
Oh shit! I didn't get an X for that.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't want to disappoint.
Wow, I was kind of going for it there. It's been so long since I've been X'd. Almost one whole show.
Yeah, I know. It's getting late. It's getting late, so that's kind of why I'm not as sharp. I'm not as sharp at this time of night. So, but
well, that's okay. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, Elimination Chamber was really good, and WrestleMania, I think
it's shaping up.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason WrestleMania at this point shouldn't be great.
Right, and one thing before we move on here, I kind of figured we were gonna get Cody versus Cena at Mania in some way, shape, or form, but I wasn't expecting. I definitely wasn't expecting it to get it in the manner in which it appears we're going to be getting it and stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really liked it, because it's something different. It's not. I mean, obviously could have gone the babyface versus babyface where, Cody goes over, Cena passes the torch, or they could have saved the heel turn for after Cody somehow wins, at Mania and stuff. But like I said, just knowing that we're going to get this. Not a match with two guys that respect each other. We're not going to get that at Mania, so it's
yeah. I mean, I legitimately think that this is just a little olive branch that's been extended, and I think that the powers that be, and I don't want to, I don't want to, give too much credit to anybody, but I think whoever did it legitimately was like, people have wanted this for so long. We're not going to let Cena, you know what I mean?
Right.
Fade without at least giving it to them for a little bit. But ultimately, I think it's a brilliant move, because I think that you get a lot of people who maybe haven't watched the product in a long time, maybe since Cena became superhero Cena. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
To come back and want to see him as a heel. I also think that you set up the transition perfectly because all of those kids who love Cena, you know who they're going to go buy shirts for now and buy shirts for at WrestleMania and really cheer at WrestleMania? Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I
Cody becomes the kids champion.
and I think he was kind of already on that way,
Yeah,
on that way
100%.
there and stuff, but even more so now, So it's like I said, it's gonna be interesting come Mania and see what they do, and this, as we continue on with this Cena retirement tour. I'm kind of wondering if I'm gonna get to see him live when SmackDown comes back to Chicago on April 4th, which is roughly 2 weeks before Mania. So
Yeah, it's the Raw is coming to Columbus, I think, in June, so I also might have a shot.
there you go. So, but yeah. So one other thing that we wanted to talk about is this partnership with WWE and TNA really, really starting to kind of blow up, and just how it's not only helping shape TNA but WWE. I mean, next week we have NXT from the theater at Madison Square Garden, and the main event's going to be a dream match that people have been talking about since the announcement of this partnership began, and that's with going to be Moose challenging for the NXT Championship against Oba Femi, and we've been seeing this match set up. The story for this match being told not only on NXT, but we've also seen it shown on TNA, and we're seeing all these other stories. I mean, Cora Jade and Masha Slamovich. Well, don't know if that match is going to happen based on what happened to Cora Jade at NXT, and glad to see that it wasn't a knee injury like initially thought. I just think she got, if I'm not mistaken, I believe
Got her bell rung.
Yeah, got her bell rung and stuff. So, but I mean, so it's glad to see she's okay. But it's just, God, this partnership has been I think this partnership has been everything that wrestling fans had hoped it would be, and then some. And I think we're seeing with this partnership is what I think TNA was hoping to see when they partnered up with AEW a couple years ago. But we all know how that worked out.
Yeah. Here's my 5-star take for the episode. I think that Moose is gonna beat Oba Femi. I really do.
That's a hot take. I
Listen.
think we do need to see like one of these championships, like these major championships, like that has to change hands across the brand. Like, because I mean, just imagine seeing like, okay, let's just say that what you're saying actually happens. I mean, Moose with the NXT title on like TNA Impact or say at TNA Genesis, that's going to be insane. I mean, Cora Jade, eventually gets her match with Masha Slamovich and wins the Knockouts Championship. You're going to see the Knockouts Championship, the Women's NXT Championship, the Women's North American Championship, and it's just, man, it's just so many just awesome possibilities with this and that. So, and I mean, I don't necessarily think Oba Femi's going to drop the title to Moose, but I honestly would not be shocked if they did that, because I feel like we need to see something like that happen during this partnership.
Yeah. I for one, I feel like Oba Femi is main roster ready. I feel like there's plenty of things for him to learn, but I feel like he's already so good this early into his wrestling career that he doesn't necessarily need NXT. I feel like he's one of those talents where he could pick things up on the road. You know what I mean?
And he's so young.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's, if I'm not mistaken, I know when he won, I think the North American Championship, he had only had something like 25 matches or something like that.
Yeah, well, his first match on NXT television was like the breakout tournament. It was him versus Odyssey Jones. And Odyssey Jones came out first. I watched it live, and I was like, "Holy shit! Look at that guy!" And then
Yeah.
Obafemi came out, and I went, "Holy shit! Look at that guy!"
Yeah.
And it was a pretty good match, and Oba power bombed him, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah.
But yeah, Oba's ready. And then I also feel like with the NXT Championship, I feel like the top end is like there's no clear cut number one contender because you have Eddie Thorpe being a weirdo, you have Trick who's out of control.
You have Ethan Page lurking in the background doing his thing with Javon Evans.
Well, yeah, I mean, but Ethan has tried and lost at least once now. I don't know.
Sean Spears, the new men's North American champion.
Yeah, but I mean, again, he's got that championship.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's possible. I feel like Moose is a battle tested enough veteran that he could run TNA, you know what I mean, and NXT, at the same time for, let's say 3 months, up until they kind of flesh everything else out, and honestly give everybody a little break from the championship.
Yeah, it definitely will get people talking if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, and again, what again, it's free television, right, on the CW network here, so
and also if you don't have CW, or if you don't have cable and you're just a streamer, you're a cord cutter, the CW app I believe has it up like the next morning. Like I actually used the CW app for the first time to watch this week's episode of NXT because it was preempted in my area due to the presidential stuff and that. So I watched it on my phone over the course of Wednesday, and I think did I finish it? Well, I basically watched it on my phone so I didn't fall too far behind because I didn't want to be left out in the conversations with my friends and Facebook Messenger talking about it and stuff. And yeah, it was just, and it's just a setup with this. And like I said, with WWE, which we've talked about with all this stuff that we have coming up this upcoming week. I mean, we got Monday Night Raw, you got Rollins versus Punk in the cage. Then, NXT, you got Moose versus Obafemi for the NXT championship. You've got champion versus champion is Julia and Stephanie Vaquer wrestle each other, and one woman's going to leave with two. One woman's going to be, we're either going to have Julia 2-belt or Stephanie 2-belt, and I mean, it's just there's so much. Just God damn, it's such a good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I mean, and we didn't even talk about what happened this week. I mean, Raw was really entertaining this week.
Mm-hmm. You had the Punk promo to start. You had obviously congratulations to Io Sky for winning the Women's World Championship in a
real shocker.
Real shocker. And I mean, it's just, I think that's going to lead to I think we're going to see a triple threat at Mania with Io, Bianca, and Rhea and everything, because I don't think Rhea's not going to be on Mania.
Yeah, I mean, I in no way, shape, or form am I complaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was a real strange thing to do. You know what I mean? Like when you have Rhea, who is a known commodity in WWE, is
arguably the most popular female wrestler in the main roster.
Yeah, I mean, one of, if not the most, over female wrestler, like you said. It's just, and you put the belt on Io, and there's nothing wrong with Io. Io is a great wrestler, and definitely a worthy champion. But unless Rhea is hurt, it felt like one of those things that I'm like, this seems like a flash decision. You know what I mean? Something that Triple H kind of just booked on feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we'll see what happens. How it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, or it could have been, Triple H just going, "Hey, anything can happen in the WWE, baby."
Yeah, and that could very well. And I'm thinking that's what it's the case of. It's just because, yeah, I mean, everybody likes to try to say, "Oh yeah, I called that," or "I saw that coming," or "I read so and so say so on so and so's dirt sheet website that And to me, it's stuff like that, like with what happened with Cena and everything. It's so nice to like not go be able to go on the internet and go look at my wrestling websites, like, which I have one that I use and stuff. But it was so nice not to like what seeing this stuff happen and be like, oh yeah, I saw that on a post earlier that afternoon that this was going to happen and stuff. Like, it's so nice to be genuinely surprised and that they can still do it and everything. And I think we're seeing a lot of that with Hunter. I think he knows how to work the dirt sheet riders to throw them off the course so they don't spoil it for those of us who don't need to have everything spoiled or leaked out and everything and stuff. So yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting it, doesn't mean I didn't like it, because I did like it.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I don't have an issue with it at all. I mean, yeah.
No, I
When I said it was strange, I mean, it's just out of the out of
you
the
don't
norm.
see
But
it
yeah,
that often.
yeah. Raw was very good this week. My one big shout out for Raw was, I love like the little bar at the bottom of the show where they kind of recap the show. Nice little touch. But
Yeah,
they were shitting on Isaac's man Ludwig Kaiser. Like, everything was like, oh, Punk verbally berates The Rock and John Cena, and then it would be like X has one match, and then it like Ludwig Kaiser calls out Penna, and then it was like Penna scares him off, I believe was the terminology. Ludwig Kaiser calls out Penna scares him off, or like out of the ring. Just
yeah.
shitting on him.
And
It
one
was
and
no
one
fated plan.
and one thing I kind of want to go back to with Raw, in addition to what Punk had to say about Cena and The Rock. I mean, that brawl with Rollins to start the show was awesome. And then when they ran into each other, because I think like Jackie Redmond was trying to interview Rollins in the back, and then like Rollins and Punk crossed paths backstage and they went at it and stuff, and then that's what led to the booking of the match in the steel cage for MSG. But I mean, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, which one, the steel cage is like not the be all end all. Adam
Not like it
Pearce.
used to be.
Yeah, no, I laughed. And two, I think that I don't know, the whole big brawl to start the show where they have all of the jobbers out there just getting destroyed and being useless. I think it's a little overplayed in WWE. And then they pull them apart, and then of course they both get away again and again. And like, again, I don't have an issue with this one. It was one of the one of the best ones in my memory. Simply because of how long it went, and then they were doing it in the commercial, which I think is a great touch. So they were showing replays of the commercial brawl, and then, as you said, later. But I don't know. I feel like Triple H leans on that a little bit too much when he
Right. But you know what? As long as we're getting the kind of programming that we've been getting this last couple of years since Hunter took control of everything, from a creative standpoint.
It's sincerely no big deal.
Yeah. So, but what is a big deal is those of you who just spent the last almost hour of your life watching the show. Shane and I would like to express our sincere appreciation and gratitude for you guys sticking with us. And Shane, I can't believe I'm gonna do this after last week, but you got any last words?
Oh, did you see New Jack was in the DLC for the WWE game?
Dude, that was insane. And I was jokingly saying to in one of my chats, I was like, now what would make it complete is if they can get the rights for natural born killers for him to come out to. And then you have to do to be the true New Jack. Yeah, anytime he's in a match, that song plays throughout the whole match, like his days in the ECW.
Yeah, gonna be real honest here, I hated that shit. It annoys me so much. But like it's I understand why people like it. It's a very cool New Jack thing.
Yeah, it's really cool because New Jack was a very vital piece of ECW, and I actually got a chance to meet him once. Actually, it was just in passing. We it was the last show they did in the Chicagoland area before the original ECW closed down. It was a pay-per-view, and I went with my best friend, and we got into the arena. It's this place called the Odeum. It's no longer around. And we were driving, we got to the arena, and the parking attendants told us where to go. So we're basically driving to one of the parking lots, and it took us basically right by where you go in. And as we're driving, I look over and I tell my friend, I'm like, oh my God, Andre, it's New Jack just standing out there. Like he was standing out, just outside talking with people. So we go, go park. We get, I get my signs that I made, and, we go walk to get in line. He's still out there. So one of the signs I had made was a sign that said New Jack for president, because this was I think 2 days before the election. And he saw the sign. He said, man, wouldn't that be some, fucked up shit? And everybody started laughing. So I'm like, hey, can I get a picture with you? He's like, yeah, I mean, New Jack was cool as hell. And so I get, give my camera to my friend, my best friend, and he's trying to get it set up and stuff. And it was taking him a little bit of time. So New Jack, in true New Jack form, starts almost like mock humping my legs. Like, hurry up. I'm starting to, just for fun and shits and giggles and stuff. But it was really cool, and just, it's great to see that, people will get to, pay tribute to him playing this game, and that. So kudos for that. The DLC lineup looks great. I mean, we're going to see Julia, Stephanie Vicaire, Penta's going to be in it.
What is diabolical is the fact that they have Abyss coming in the DLC, and they put him in a pack with a great Khali and NBA players.
I am anxious to see. I have a feeling. I think I know one of the NBA players.
They put Abyss in a pack with the NBA players?
Well, because I've seen, I know Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers is a huge WWE fan. He's been to a lot of their shows and been featured. I think he's going to be one of them. And then I believe it's Jalen Brunson from the Knicks has been on as well. So I think those are going to be the NBA players. So that's my feeling.
Don't put Abyss with the NBA guys.
Dude, they had last year, they had a pack with a DLC. One of the DLC packs was Pat McAfee, which I get, but basically the rest of everybody from his show.
That at least makes sense in context of what it is. Why is Abyss with the NBA guys, Dennis? Tell me. I don't get it.
If anybody from 2K Games, if you're watching this show, drop us a line in the comments section as to why you put Abyss with the NBA players, because Shane would like to know.
And
basically here, you know what, Shane? Let's end it on this. This one is for you, because I know this is how you're feeling right now about Abyss being looped in with the NBA players as one of the DLC packs. Shane, this one is for you.
Oh.
And on that note, good night, everybody.
That's
What was that you were saying, Shane, before I cut you off? I apologize.
That's crazy. You gave me an X?
No, I didn't give you an X. I gave an X on your behalf.
Oh, I was freaking. I was heated there. I was like, you gave me an X for standing up for injustice?
No, I gave Injustice an X.
Put Sanjay Dutt in the game. Damn it.
Well, that's only because Sanjay Dutt is under contract to AEW.
All right. Put Monty Brown in the game. Do a TNA pack.
Would not mind that at all. And on that note, let's end it just like that, Shane.
You could also book Gigi Dolin to win the World Heavyweight Championship if you wanted in your WWE 2K 2025.
Well, they do have intergender wrestling, so.
Oh, Gigi Dolin to the top, baby.
Sorry, bro. Legends of the Ring Sting, man. This is a great figure, old school figure. Looks great. It's Sting! Old school Sting from WCW. Guys, you know us, 3/4 of the Shooting Shit team, and we're here with a listener just like you guys. This is Jimmy from Super Powers Comics.
My friend of almost 20 years. He's known him since you were 12.
If you know people in Chicago, you probably know Dennis because he knows half the town, of course. But shooters, if you need action figures, comics, wrestling memorabilia, we just showed you Sting. Superpowers Comics will put up their QR code so you can get a good look at everything they have coming. Give it a shot, shooters. Get your superpowers on and get your comics from our friend Jimmy, who listens just like you.
Attention wrestling fans and fans of Shootin' Shit podcasts. You can now be one of the cool kids by going to ProWrestlingTees.com and buy the official Shootin' Shit t-shirt. Buy it now and be there at ringside.
This episode and all episodes of 5-Star Takes are now available on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@5-Star Takes. Be sure to like and subscribe. Get all of your 5-Star Takes news and updates by going to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/SHOOTINSHT. And as always, thanks for watching.